Heritage Bank has lost their banking license. How does that affect you if you have an account with them? Let me explain. It's no longer a news that CBN has withdrawn banking license of Heritage Bank. NDIC, Nigerian Deposit Insurance Company, is the insurance company in charge of every bank in Nigeria. NDIC has taken over the bank right now. As the insurance company in charge of every bank in Nigeria, NDIC have limits they can pay customer. For example, if you have 20 billion naira in your account before they withdraw their license, you will only receive 5 million naira because 5 million naira is the maximum amount they can pay back to customers. So if you have accounts in Heritage Bank before their license was withdrawn, my brother, I don't know what to tell you this time around. You might head to court because NDIC will not pay you more than 5 million naira. 5 million naira is the maximum amount they will pay you. I have someone who explained this better to you because I am not a financial advisor. Listen.
I woke up to the rude shock of the news of liquidation of Heritage Bank by the Central Bank of Nigeria and the NDIC. And NDIC now promising to pay maximum amount of 5 million naira as insured depositors funds, and then whatever. And see, you know, my heart bleeds for Nigeria. My heart bleeds for Nigerians. You know, we've passed through this route before. When people say Nigeria is an active crime scene, a very satanic active crime scene, this is a true example. When did NDIC and CBN realize that this bank has gotten to this level? Why did the CBN not establish a bridge bank to acquire the assets and liabilities of this bank and then unleash the EFCC to recover the bad debts from those who created it, and even get the board and management of the bank to answer questions? You know, we've been through this part before. Poor Nigerians will labor, will work hard, even under the unwholesome, cruel atmosphere, save up their money in banks. Some incompetent, sleazy human beings will blow those funds, misappropriate it, create toxic assets left and right, most of them insider related, and then CBN, NDIC goes in, liquidate the bank. All the staff are laid off, depositors' funds blown in the air, just like that. There will have been diverse different approaches to this. CBN will have looked for other healthier banks to acquire. They will have even done what we call guided liquidation. Guided liquidation simply means stripping packing the liabilities and putting it to one side, and then selling the assets to a very, very healthy bank, transferring the assets and the staff of the company to those, and then looking at how they can now recover those liabilities that are put in a bucket. It was difficult for AMCON to be sold, for NAFCON to be sold in 2005. Obasanjo saw they had a huge liability of almost about 120 billion naira. Obasanjo knew that it would be difficult to sell that asset, that very important asset, without doing so. What he did was guided liquidation. He stripped the asset into one side, put the liabilities into one side. The asset was valued at about $154 million, and he got privatized it. I was one of the lead advisors on the buy side to those that acquired that asset in 2005, 2006. So I knew what happened. I was the acquisition advisor for those who purchased that asset. So what Obasanjo did was a very apt way of getting the thing done. So I expected the Central Bank of Nigeria and NDIC to have told the same route. Since the bank is alleged to have been carrying a huge toxic asset of almost about 600 billion. When did it blow to 600 billion? And the CBN that is supposed to be the regulators did not see it going to that level. If CBN wanted to put it together, they would have pulled it together long ago. How did the bank get to the level that the toxic asset kept growing to the extent that they can no longer maintain the books? You know, it's the same thing all over Nigeria. You know, we take things for granted. The same problem we have in the money market with the Central Bank of Nigeria and the deposit money banks, it's the same problem we have in the capital market, and we keep on lamenting this. There is weak regulation, weak enforcement. Criminality thrives in Nigeria because the regulators that are supposed to enforce the regulation are in bed with the operators at some levels. Then the judiciary and the policing system in Nigeria that is supposed to be very upright had become so compromised that people get away with all manner of criminality, and the poor Nigerian masses takes the short end of the stick. A young man just chatted me inbox. He has huge deposit in Heritage Bank, all his life that he has worked for. Now he's scared that he's going to lose it. Under this terrible, atrocious economic situation, we are now compounding the problems of Nigeria by liquidating Heritage Bank the way they've adopted it. All the staff of that bank will lose their jobs. Associated businesses transacting with that bank will lose their business relationship. And then the worst of it all, people who labor so hard to put their hard-earned savings in that bank are going to receive the short end of the stick, because people just no empathy, no compassion. You just pull it together. At the end of the day, those who managed the bank, from the board to the top management, will still go scot-free. It happened in Nigeria between 2005 to 2010. Nigerians gathered and mobilized their savings and invested in the capital market. People took their monies to go and run an election. People took their money to go and buy second wives. People took their monies and went as far as Tanzania to go and buy established banks. People misappropriated the trust of Nigerians. SEC did nothing. EFCC did nothing. CICPC did nothing. The police did nothing. The people who misappropriated these funds are walking free. The likes of Voiza, Chimak, and all the online Ponzi scammers got courage to do what they do, because they know we operate a criminal system where people can just connive, do evil, steal people's money, and they use the proceeds of corruption and fraud to bribe their way through. They buy up everybody, they even buy up justice. We can't continue to work this way. The CBN should have adopted. If you don't want to do guided liquidation, stripping the liabilities and packing the wealth and selling the assets, so that the people will not lose their job and lose their deposits, you will have set up a bridge bank, or even made an arrangement for a stronger bank to acquire it, pack the liabilities, and I can bet it 9/10. Those people who are owing those toxic assets will walk away. All they need to do is to buy those buyable. See, the average Nigerian is hurting. The average Nigerian is hurting. There is the feeling of despondency out there. There is this fear. Everybody, see, people believe they can do all manner of criminality and get away. And I have experienced it over the last 9 years. It has become so worse. It has become worse. It grows worse and worse. People brazenly commit crime. People brazenly do evil. People brazenly loot. People brazenly misappropriate people's fund. And they, even before you blow, they will go to court to get perpetual injunction and even claim fundamental human rights. And they will get one Jankara judge that will listen to their plea and manipulate things. What kind of country is this? It's already out there. Justice is no longer for the justice is no longer for the common man. The court is no longer for the court is now for the grown man, and that is what it is today. Allegedly, 75% of those who are supposed to be the temple of justice across the layers of judicial system are corrupt. They are there, pay for play. Whoever is going to bring the bigger cake, the bigger money, gets the judgment on his own favor. How can we build a country like this? And we want investors to come in. We want people to bring in their money and put in the banking industry. We already have a huge informal sector. We are trying to see how we can grow financial inclusion. Today in Nigeria, the number of Nigerians with BVN is only 61 million. Out of a population of about 217 million and a working population of over 128 million, you only have 61, 62 million people with BVN, which simply means the rest of Nigerians are not willing to be financially included. Look at Kenya, financial inclusion 85%. Look around the world, Singapore has 100% financial inclusion. You cannot build a formal economy, you cannot manage economy when there is a huge informal sector out there. And what the CBN has done now is to erode more confidence. Let me tell you, any smart person now will begin to hedge against risks. You don't know the bank that will be next. Forget all this is that are posting profits. Beyond the layers of these banks, there are emptiness. Because I wonder how they are declaring trillions of naira profit, whereas the real sector economy is shrinking. That simply means they are managing their books and manipulating the system. And we have regulators who are not doing their job. Why would they liquidate the bank the way they have done? For crying out, Tory or law? What kind of thing is this? Who is advising these guys? God, I've never seen this kind of thing before. No empathy, no compassion, no feeling. They just do the same. There are many ways to have done this. A bleeding call. The young man now is crying. Oh, his life savings. Somebody has 20 million, you're going to give him 5 million. So what happened to 15 million? And he's going to wait. Some people will even develop convulsion now. Some people will become depressed. Some people will even become suicidal. Because people are unthinking. God have mercy on us.
So do with this information what you wish. But before then,
enjoy your weekend.
Thank you.